This is part 2 of the iPhone building tutorials, and based on the previous tutorials in Objective-C, as you saw, that I keep my structs and other things in a common file and a central location. So let's do that in this project as well. I'm gonna create a central location to define constants, structures, and protocols. Three things. And the way we do that is I am going to create a header file to keep all of those things in, and then I am going to include that header file anyway in everything. Let's do that first of all and debate why I want to do this and some benefits of it. So I am going to right click a C++ header file. How about we call it constants. Now in here I do want to, okay, constants. Let's just do this one for right now. I am going to define, see if this works, a constant. No semicolon, right? That's how you do that. So I have done that, and I'm gonna go to vcontroller.h file, and I'm gonna import it in. It already knows. I love this code assist. Now if I go here, I should be able to use it. So if I type m underscore pi, so that's available to me. That's constant is available to me now. So the other things, I'm going to just put my notes in here. Say I'm going to, what am I going to keep in here? I'm going to keep in keep my constants, structs, protocols, and also let's add one more thing, imports. If I like to import everything over and over again, I can import it in this central location and then import constants.h one time, and all of the imports will come from here. I don't have to type. Like, let's say I have 5 different, 6, 7 different things, 10 different files I import every time. I could just keep it in here. So I'm gonna keep constants, structs, protocols, and imports in here. So that's my central location. So I've done that here. Import constants.h, and then right here I can use them all. So that was step number 1. Now let's talk about a couple of other things. One thing is that we want to go back in here, viewcontroller.m, and open them this way, where the m file is on the left side, h file is on the right side. And what I did was I put it in the wrong place. I should put it in the import everything in the header file of it. So I should have done this actually. Since it's my own application, in a class I created, so I'm gonna say constants.h. Yeah, that's the way it should have been instead of the .m file. If you noticed it, no, not in here, in here. Now the other question is, why am I importing it constants.h? I could have done, I could inherit. You know how it says colon VUI controller. It's inheriting from VUI controller. So the other way I can access everything in here is to inherit from constants. Well, then in this class wants to inherit from UI view controller, and there is only single inheritance. So if I inherit from UI Constants I cannot inherit from GUI view controller, so I run into trouble. You could say, okay, make constants inherit from GUI view controller. So GUI controller inherit from constants, constants inherit from GUI view controller. Well, not in every situation I will be inheriting from UI view controller. It will be different things. So that gets a little complicated. So just leave it be and just import. Is that's what I have found is the simplest approach. Just do this, instead of just import it. So that's why I used this technique of import. The other thing is, let's start with an example. I am going to have my first import. I know I'm gonna be using a lot of which one of these, the one here or this one. It depends. Is it my own or not? It's not. I am thinking of foundation.h. So I'm gonna type F. Okay, so now this one my constants is importing foundation.h. Now since that I'm importing constants.h, now I don't have to type this thing in here. I don't have to do both of these. I can just take that out altogether. I am getting foundation.h by virtue of importing constants.h. So that's the very first example that I've simplified my life by putting all the imports in constants.h. Now we continue with some other Cocoa Touch classes. In the write function, once everything has been written successfully, I want to pop up a alert view and see how that one looks like and how do we program it. Now if I type key is as A, value B, and I write everything written, I want to pop up this dialog box saying info saved successfully or not saved successfully, there was a problem. Now here's that class called UI alert view. And of course this is, if you click on it, you can see in the quick help or where it's defined in its class reference and everything. So over here we allocate init with title. We're gonna call it info, as you saw. What message is gonna be displayed? Delegate. Now that's a little bit more complicated. When you click on OK, you may wanna have a delegate, some method executed. That's where the delegate comes in, a method to execute. We have nil, nothing so far. Cancel button, title, OK. Other button titles, nil. So you can do a lot of things with it, but this one just shows up. I'm gonna read it back. A read. See, just have an OK button. Cancel button, title is OK. Let's look at additional example. If something was to go wrong, then we want to display that it did not show successfully. So in that case, what we can do is that we saw earlier that we can do the try catch block. So let's enclose everything in try catch block. Now here's how it looks like. We're gonna have a try catch block. We're gonna try it. If we catch an exception, let's try one thing. We're gonna use the this is what I did. Edit, select all. I'm gonna right click anywhere here, structure, and say reindent to reindent everything. And then you see how everything got indented. So I basically did a try catch, and if I catch an exception, I say problem saving, and I return from this method. It will never get to line 50 if there was an exception. And if there was no exception, this block would be skipped and we'll say saved successfully. That's one way to say if there's a problem or happened or not. Saved successfully or not saved. Next we'll play with different, like what if I want to have two buttons, OK and cancel. If I click OK, I want to do one thing. If I click cancel, I want to do another thing. So let's look at that next. Now I'm going to make a change to this alert view to have two buttons, OK and cancel. And when anytime I click that button, I want a method to execute. The very first step is that in the header, I open up the header file, .m file. This is the viewcontroller.m. Is viewcontroller.h. In that file, I say that this class I want to implement UI alert view delegate protocol. In the previous example you saw, right? Protocol, that means protocol. So once I do that, I can add a method. That protocol says that there can be a method with this signature in there my class needs to implement. So that's step number 2. This signature, and in here of course I do this to get the title of the button that was clicked. Then I click compare it. If it's okay, I say okay was selected. Else if title equals cancel, I say cancel was selected. Step number 3, in the delegate, instead of nil, I say I type self and self. In order to show two buttons instead of just having nil there, I've changed it to say cancel and then nil. Nil is necessary as you know when you have a variable number of parameters, the last one needs to be nil. That's the rule. So that all that will cause me to see this. Right, now I see two buttons, OK, cancel. If I click cancel, it says cancel was selected. I click again, this time I click OK, it says OK was selected. So that's how you pop up a message, have now two buttons, and every time you click on any one of those buttons, react to it, figure out which button was clicked and do something different. I want to see three buttons. I'll just add it here. For example, cancel to. So now you see three buttons. So that's how you can go add 3, 4, 5 buttons. Of course you can come in here, alert view, look at the class view, class reference or examples to see what more things you can do. There are a lot of things you can do over here. It's very interesting.